Alright, so for number 33, we want to determine the exact value of each of these following expressions. So first of all, we want to find the sine of cosecant inverse of 8/5. So it's easiest to go ahead and set up a triangle. You know that since 8/5 is positive, cosecant is positive in the first quadrant. Cosecant, of course, being the opposite of sine. So sine, you know that since sine inverse is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, you know that that same domain is applicable to cosecant inverse. So if you're in the first quadrant, cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite, so that's why you see 8 over 5. Use the Pythagorean theorem to find the square root of 39. So now, if you're looking at the sine of that value, of that triangle, the sine of this triangle is 5/8. And there you'll see 5/8. Okay? Now, you could have figured that out without having to draw the triangle because you really didn't need to know the root 39. However, the easiest way to do it is just to draw a picture for each of these. For the next one, again, 12/13 cannot be evaluated with the unit circle, so therefore we have to set up a triangle. Again, in this case, sine is positive. Sine is positive in the first quadrant, so therefore opposite over hypotenuse, there's the 12 over 13, Pythagorean theorem to find the 5. Now in this case, it was the most helpful, and you did need to use the Pythagorean theorem to find that 5, because now for tangent we have opposite over adjacent. So opposite over adjacent is 12 over 5, and there you'll see that ratio of 12 over 5 for the tangent of sine inverse of 12/13. For the next one, we have cos inverse of cosine of 11 pi over 6. Well, cosine of 11 pi over 6, you're going to find in the fourth quadrant. So, therefore, you know in the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive. So the cosine of 11 pi over 6, that's really 330 degrees, so you're looking at a reference angle of 30 degrees, and therefore you would know it was root 3 over 2. Now, cosine inverse of root 3 over 2. Cosine inverse is not defined in the fourth quadrant. Cosine inverse is only defined in the first and second quadrant. So therefore you know that you're actually going to evaluate the cosine inverse of root 3 over 2 in the first quadrant, so you have to actually switch quadrants in this case. So the cosine inverse of root 3 over 2 is pi over 6. And again, since you are finding an inverse value, your answer should be either in degrees or radians. Finally, for D, I'm finding the sine of tan inverse of negative 4/3. Tangent inverse of negative 4/3. Since that ratio is negative, you know you're in the fourth quadrant. Set up your triangle. That happens to be a Pythagorean triple. So you have 4, 5, and 3. And now in the fourth quadrant, the sine of this angle would be opposite over hypotenuse. However, sine is negative in this quadrant, so your answer would be negative 4/5.